Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Just One More Level mini podcast. I'm your co-host, Christian.
And I am your co-host, John.
And this week we played a little bit of Resident Evil Zero, the kind of last game in the classic Resident Evil series, where you, with the traditional gameplay, before they took on a very much action-oriented style gameplay. And kind of wrapping up our little stint of Resident Evil games that we were doing as well. But John, Resident Evil Zero, they improved a lot of things, but it's still very similar to the last game.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what they changed and what's the same?
Yeah, so the storyline of Resident Evil Zero is you are Rebecca Chambers, and you are part of the STARS team, the official original STARS team that got lost, and the STARS team that you went looking for in the first game.
Yep.
That is the plot of the first game. You went looking for Rebecca Chambers.
For these people, yeah.
For these people, and that's how you ended up at the mansion. So this is the story of what happens to that team. Even though Rebecca survives this, spoilers, and shows up in later Resident Evil adventures, but this team is en route to investigate why their escort team that is escorting a criminal, Billy Cohen, also known as Billy Tribotats, why they've stopped talking to you. And you find a broken down train that is being ravaged by zombies and bugs. The zombies
that
in this
seem
game
to be controlled by some sort of lady singing or something. I've never played much of this game, just the time that I took for the podcast here. So very interesting. Story-wise, I think this game hooked me faster than any other Resident Evil game, to be honest. Just purely from the story standpoint, not so much from gameplay standpoint. Because gameplay-wise, it was essentially the same as 1, 2, and 3, except for the fact that once you get a certain ways into the game, you get a companion character, but instead of playing them as two separate playthroughs, you control both of them at the same time and can switch back and forth mostly at will. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I see that getting a little bit old personally. I don't know how I feel about that mechanic, and I know I've seen a lot of stuff online of people not really caring for it. But John, I believe you were telling me that you found it pretty interesting, actually. Yeah,
later in the game, because I played this game before and I played a good bit more of it than I played for the podcast. So later in the game, they do craft some creative-ish puzzles that utilize that two-party system. There's one in the train that I feel is pretty cool. You explore one part of the train and then your counterpart explores the other. It doesn't matter which one you do. It just, has to do with how good a time you have while you're doing it, because one of the characters can take more hits, the other one can do more crafting type things. So you go through and you have to find this item that you send via dumbwaiter to the other person, and that can solve a puzzle. So I thought that was kind of cool. And there's more clever things like that utilize that mechanic as time goes on, but more often than not, it just feels like a cheap inventory upgrade.
Yeah,
you kind of.
It feels like padding to me. It's just a way to make the game last longer.
Yeah, but it's very strange. It definitely feels like a Resident Evil game. It has a lot of gross big monsters. The corpses are reanimated by these trilobites type things.
I don't remember what they're called, but yeah.
Right, and they're being controlled by an anime villain singing opera on a brain. I don't know. I don't really know what that guy's deal is. I'm not sure what's going on there. I haven't played far enough into the game to figure out what that is, but he controls them somehow, or to some extent,
or is a part of them, or they're a part of him, or something along those lines.
Yeah. But the gameplay and the sounds and all of that kind of stuff are par for the course for an early Resident Evil game.
Well, I mean, actually, I would say it actually sounds and looks much better personally. I mean, it's fairly compressed.
Great.
On the GameCube, I'm playing the GameCube version. John's playing the upgraded port for Switch, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a lot of compression, so the video can look a little blocky at times, and some of the sounds clip a little bit from all the compression. But I mean, it looks so much better than 1, 2, and 3 does. It looks really good.
I was just talking about how I was just talking about how you move around in the environment.
Right. Yeah, still use the same fan control.
Visually, I think it's a huge upgrade, especially in the HD remaster, which I have for the Switch. I believe it was released virtually for the PS4 and Xbox. So it's a huge, and the PC, huge upgrade visually. The HD graphics make the baked environments that you're in look crisp, and I mean
they look
crisp.
very nice.
They look really good. However, they did upgrade the character models a bit, but they still move and feel like PS2 era characters. So that adds kind of a weird disconnect while you're playing the game. You're just like, this looks a little off considering the environment that I'm playing in here. But it's not a huge distraction overall. I think this game it's good. It's pretty good. It's definitely a good addition to the franchise. I didn't quite enjoy it as much as I enjoyed playing Resi 3 or 2. But I think those are just more classic and nostalgia.
I didn't get far enough in to pick this one over one of those or anything like that. Like I said, story wise, this one drew me a lot more. But gameplay wise, I feel like I may end up liking the other ones a little bit better personally. There is one more thing with this one. People who like cutscenes, I think, will like this game more. At least in the beginning of the game, there are a lot of cutscenes. I don't know if that continues through the entire thing, but a lot more than Resi 1, 2, or 3 going on here.
Not quite as much. The further along you get into the game, especially, you end up in sort of a mansion type building after you're done and through the train. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing this GameCube footage for the first time. There's a big improvement with the graphics. The UI looks similar, but everything, like I said, just looks more clean and crisp. This looks a lot more washed out and kind of dark. But I
mean, it still looks good, but it's just compressed, so you lose a lot of color depth and whatnot. And that's because GameCube games have so much less space than, like, say, a PS2 disc or something like that. So I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. I do have one note I want to put out. You called him Billy what? Billy Tribotat?
Billy Tribotat.
My literal note, my literal note over here was Billy Badass over here. Because I also was making fun of him because that's your partner character. And yeah, he just he
Yeah.
does some like some movie trope diving, shooting things out of the air sort of stuff, and
Yeah,
he's got
he's
your
supposed to
tattoos and all
feel
that. Yes.
yeah, he's supposed to feel a lot cooler than he ends up. He mostly
Yeah.
just comes across as cheesy,
Yeah,
and he
for
doesn't
sure.
feel dangerous like a convicted criminal to me.
Yeah.
And he does some pretty serious mansplaining and
I can
condescension
totally see that
stuff like
happening. Yeah.
through most of it, which is just kind of annoying. I mean,
Right.
I get what they were going for with the character. That's not out of character for the person they were writing, but
Still, yeah.
yeah, it's
But
just kind of annoying. But anyway, I would
yeah.
play just one more level of this game.
Same.
I own it.
I plan on beating it soon. Well,
Yep.
soon for me is within the next 6 months, but soon.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
for sure.
definitely want to see where the story goes. I want to pick it up where I left off, as well as the other minisodes that we've been doing. Guys, let us know how you feel about these minisodes. We're still tweaking the formula a little bit. We're still trying to find our footing with it, but we're having a lot of fun. We put almost as much into the game as we do for a full episode. We just cut it down
compress
a
it
little
down more. Yeah.
Yeah, just because we don't feel like, we didn't want to do 4 35-minute episodes on talking about these types
The
of
same
Resident Evil.
gameplay. Yeah.
Right, same gameplay over and over and over. So we wanted to compress that down, and that led to a new thing that we wanted to do.
Yep.
There's tons of games out there we want to spend an hour playing, but we don't want to spend an hour talking about. So
Exactly.
anyway, you can find us as always in the descriptions below the videos.
Yep.
That has links to all of our social medias and our website, so you can check that out. You can check out our own personal content. You can vote on the poll and even participate in future events like giveaways.
Yeah.
So
make sure you guys check that out and interact. We love seeing you guys. We love hearing from you guys. But that's all we have time in this mini-sode. So we hope to see you again soon.
Yep. Thank you everybody
Bye-bye.
so much for watching. You don't have to, but you do. Bye bye.